Chandraya Radhikaya Tarare Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Dad Bhaktaya Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Mubbadyachavi Sundaraya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhaktyavi Adita Hipamai Ampepa Namaste Govinda Namo Govinda Namo Govinda Namo Hey Krishna Govinda Namo Sham Sundar Shikanda Shekhar Smarha Sumuli Manora Radhikaras Kamama Kripanidhe Supriya Charna King Korim Kuru Tavairasmi Na Jivami Taya Jivikyaya Devi Namah Chanantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadev Paramarada Tumak Gurupada Padma, Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satasri, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to our entire Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to Pujpad Sri Santa Maharaj, Pujpad Sri Bhaktivedanta Bhagavat Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Panchakalpa Dhurvasta, Kripas, Vaishnavas. So, in this particular visit to this holy place, Radha Govinda Mandir Alachua, today is our fourth and final class. On the first day, we discussed what subject? Nam Tattva, the importance of the holy name. On the second day, we discussed Sharanagati, and how when the devotee does Atmaniveda and surrenders his heart completely to Krishna, Krishna completely surrenders to the devotee also. So yesterday we discussed the importance of sadhu sangha. So there are many types of sadhus, but Srila Rupa Goswami Pad has mentioned Srimad Bhagavatatarnam Ashwadorasikai Saha Sajate ashe snigde sadhu sanga sutobare. One should relish the many, many meanings of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Savasrai Pratyakri Pratishloke Pratyakri Nana Arthakrai. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, Vanmayi Murti, sound incarnation of Krishna. And as Krishna is the shelter of all existence, so is Srimad Bhagavatam the shelter of all existence. And as Krishna is unlimited, his katha is unlimited. Kim Brahma Jammabe Ananta Katha Rasasya. So in the same way, each verse, each syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam has unlimited meanings. So Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, in the association of Rasik Vaishnavas, one should taste the many meanings of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shajate ashe snigde sadhu sanga swato bare. Those Vaishnavas should be, bare means significantly more advanced and realized than ourselves. Snigdha, having affection for us. That means they have decided internally, oh, you are my Kripa Patra. You will be the recipient of my mercy. So that is snigdha. If the disciple is snigdha, very affectionate to the spiritual master, then the spiritual master must reveal confidential instructions. Veta tvam somya tat sarvam tatpatas tadanugrahat baru yusnigdasya sisyasya guruvo goyam apiyata. Shonaka Rishi, he said, and the sages, they said to Suta Goswami, we know that you are very affectionate and loving to your gurus. So it must be that they have revealed all the confidential truths to you. So, Sajate Ashe Snigde Sadhusanga Suto Bare, and the third qualification, Sajatayashe. Sajatya means in the same category. An Ashai means the chitta, which is the ashai, the resting place of all your sanskars. So, Ramananda Rai told to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yatotram aso swadha visheshu la samayapi rati vasanaya swadvi. The meaning is that Yatotram aso swadha, each rasa is more relishable than the previous one. Dasya is more relishable than Santa rasa, Sakya is more relishable than Dashna rasa, Vatsalya rasa is more relishable than Sakya rasa, and Madhurya rasa is more relishable than Vatsalya rasa. So then a question comes. If a person, if all the rasas were the same amount of relishment, then everyone might be equally attracted to any of the rasas or all of them. So, in this verse, you can find in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there Rupa Goswami is saying, actually no, the rasas are not of equal relishment. There's Vishesh Ullasamai. Vishesh Ullas, there's a speciality in the Ullas, the joy which is felt in these rasas. So that means Madhurya Ras is the highest. So if Madhurya Ras is the highest, then surely everyone will just gravitate towards Madhurya Ras. But we don't see that happening. So in the second part of the verse, he answers that question. He says, Rati Vasanaya Swadvi. Which means that any particular rasa appears to be relishable to us depending on our Rati Vasana. That means sanskars, impressions. So, whomever we associate with and hear from them, we receive samskars from them. So, if you're aspiring to make progress in a particular mood, and you associate with persons in another mood, then by associating them, you get a mixed sanskar. And then a proper taste in the rati, the staibhava, the rasa you want, it will not manifest. This is the science behind it. So it's very important, Srila Rupa Goswami's part, he's saying, Sajataya Shestinte, whose samskaras for bhakti are same as you have, or same as you want to have, associate with them. So, these sanskaras, which cause one to be eligible to relish bhakti rasa, they don't come in one life. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad said, Praktun aduniki chasti yasya sad bhakti vasana, that those who have impressions in this life, aduniki, and praktan from a previous life or previous lives, they are eligible for tasyaiva ridijayate, the bhakti rasasvado tasyaiva ridijayate, they can experience the awakening of rasa in the heart. So Brajrasik Vaishnav Bhakta Sangha, especially in Madhurya Ras, especially in Parakya Ras, especially in Radhadasyam, following Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, is essential. In this regard, there's a very beautiful pastime among the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once it happened that a Brahmin from Bengal, he came to Jagannath Puri. So previously he was associated with Bhagavan Acharya, who was now staying with Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So when he came there, naturally he stayed at the residence of Bhagavan Acharya at that time. So he told Bhagavan Acharya, I have written a natakam, a drama, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can I read it to you? So then that Brahmin, he read his drama, and Bhagavan Acharya, he liked it. And he told other devotees, that so many devotees came, and they all heard it, and they all said, oh, sadhu, sadhu, wonderful, wonderful. So in this way, this poet from Bengal, he was very happy. All the devotees that he'd met so far, they were very inspired. But really the success of his writing would only come if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear his drama about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because it's written to please him. So, but in those days, there was a niyam, it was the maryada, the etiquette, and it was followed very strictly by everyone, that no one could read any poetry, not a shloka, not a song, not a granta, or a natak, anything, any category, genre of literature. They could not read it to Mahaprabhu unless and until it had gone through the screening of Swarup Damodar Goswami. So, Bhagavan Acharya approached Swarup Damodar Goswami, not the poet, Bhagavan Acharya approached Swarup Damodar Goswami and told him, oh, my friend has come from Bengal, he's composed a drama about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and can you hear it? So, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can hear it. So then, Swarup Damodar Goswami, he became very grave. He said, Rasa basa jadi hoy siddhanta virod, sahite na pare prabhu mani hai. If there's any rasa abhas, that means uparas, anuras, aparas, different types of rasa abhas, where the mellow does not manifest due to some defect in the rasa samagri, the ingredients, or due to the object of the ras, the vishay or the ashray. So, if the mellow will not manifest beautifully, or siddhanta virod, if there's some conclusion which is against Shastra, against the Vedas, or against the conclusions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are very elevated and very rare, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot tolerate it. Sahitina Pari Prabhu Mani Haikrod, and he becomes angry. Why? Because Vishesh Ullas Mayapi. Rasa causes ullas, that's an expansion of the heart, and a lightening and expansion of the heart, such joy. But if a person who is very sensitive to rasa is touched by some rasa kuchita, and there's a contraction and it gives pain, it hurts. So even though Mahaprabhu said be more tolerant than the tree, but he cannot tolerate rasa basa and becomes angry. But in other cases, Mahaprabhu but not in this. So Swarup Damodar Goswami would protect him. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, he said, look, Bhagavanacharya, listen. Unless one is expert in Vyakaranam, Sanskrit grammar, and unless one is expert in Kavya Alankara, and more than that, unless one is expert in Natya Alankara, that means all the ornaments related to the structure and the presentation of dramas, then unless he's expert in all of these things, he cannot glorify the pastimes of Krishna. So, Srila Rupa Goswami has written a grantha called Natak Chandrika, and there he describes his own explanation of the deep structures behind the dramas of Krishna Lila or of Gaura Lila. So there are many components. First there is the Karyavastas, 5 stages of development of the action of the drama. And then there is the Artha Prakritis, the 5 stages of the psychological development of the hero in his quest to find his goal, and also of the secondary heroes in the drama as well. So the place where the 5 Karyavastas brings out 5 sandhis, 5 sandhyas. And these sandhis, these are the junctions of the drama. And then each of the 5 junctions may have 20 or 30 sandhyangas, sublims as well, like this. So in this way, when a Vaishnava is composing a drama to present the sweetness of Krishna, they follow this deep structure in the presentation, and then whoever's hearing the rasa will be very ripe. So Damodar Goswami said, unless a person knows all of these things, they cannot describe the pastimes of Krishna. But the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're Vishesha Duragama. They are even more deep, profound, inaccessible, and difficult to explain even than Krishna Lila. So Swarup Damodar Goswami said, only someone who has fully accepted the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his life and soul can present such things. Gaurangera duti pada. Only one for whom the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are his own of Bhakti Rasa, and then present it. So Swarup Damodar Goswami told him, Srila Rupa Goswami has set the standard for the composition of the dramas about Krishna, Natakams. So by speaking these words, Swarup Damodar was trying to impress upon Bhagavan Acharya that, is your friend from Bengal, is he really up to this? Do we have to sit and listen? It was a foregone conclusion for Swarup Damodar Goswami that this person, he doesn't have all the aforementioned qualifications. So he explained it. He didn't say no, but he told all of these things. But even after hearing all of this, after a few days later, Bhagavan Acharya again came to Swarup Damodar Goswami. And he insisted again and again. So Swarup Damodar Goswami said, all right, bring him here and we'll listen to it. So then that Brahmin came, Swarup Damodar Goswami sat down, there were other devotees there, and he began to read his drama. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, he said that the real standard is set by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami's standard is such that what to speak about hearing the whole drama, you become overwhelmed in ecstasy only in hearing the introduction. So Swarup Damodar Goswami told that Brahmin, read your prastavna, your introduction. So then he began to read. He said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has assumed the golden form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Atma. of the body of Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath is the body and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Atma. And he has appeared in this world to bring life to that was inert. To the Jada Prakriti, that which by nature is insentient, he is bringing all to life. So then the devotees heard it up. Sort Damodar was very grave. He didn't comment. He said, please explain the meaning of your verse. He said, well, you see, Lord Jagannath is not moving. So he is like a body. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going here and there, so he's like the Atma, he's like the soul. And just as the soul brings life to the body, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving life to everyone. So Damodar, he said, Are Murka. Not enough Bengali to understand that. Are Murka, you stupid fool? Apanara Koili Sarvanas, you have ruined your life. You've made offense both to Lord Jagannath and to Chaitanya. Why? Because Lord Jagannath is not Jad. He is not inert. And it's not that also he cannot move. At the time of Rachayatra, he is moving by his own will. Don't think that everyone is carrying him. Himself is moving to the rat car. So, the body of Lord Jagannath is Sachidanandamoy, made of condensed, eternal, unlimited bliss. But you have compared him to something which is Jad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sadaishwarya Purna Bhagavan, the unlimited Supreme Lord, complete with all six opulences, and you've compared him to a Jiva. So Bhagavan is like a fire and Jiva is like a spooling. That's just like a little spark of the fire. So on both accounts you have made offenses to Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he is unlimited Swayam Bhagavan, and Lord Jagannath is unlimited Swayam Bhagavan, and there's no difference between them. And in addition to that, you cannot say God has a body and a soul, because in the Vedas it is said, Deha Dehi Vibhago Yam Neshra. Never any difference between the body and the soul of Bhagavan. His body is his soul is his body. His Advaya Gyan Tattva is uniform. So, when Swarup Damodar said this, then that Brahmin, he felt fear, he felt shyness, and he was also astonished. It took him by surprise. And he was just trembling there, feeling like a duck in the society of swans. So then, when Swarup Damodar saw that he didn't argue back, then he was very merciful to him. He said, Jaha Bhagavata Pada Vaishnaver Sthane Ekanta Asraikara Chaitanya Charane. You should study Srimad Bhagavatam sitting at the feet of a Rasik Vaishnava. Otherwise you will not understand. You will misinterpret. You will not have access to the depth of it. And at the same time, Ekanta Asraikara Karo Chaitanya Charane, be completely in the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because even though there were many acharyas who gave very good explanations of Srimad Bhagavatam, only the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opens up the most confidential secrets of Srimad Bhagavatam, which are specifically the glories of Srimati Radhika. And by establishing the supreme ultimate glory of Srimati Radhika, then the Prayojan Tattva, the goal of life, to be her maidservant, is established. Then Swarup Damodar Goswami said, Chaitanya Bhakta Gana Nitya Karo Sangha Anta Samudra Taranga. Daily, every day, or regularly, Nitya Karo Sangha. You should associate with the pure devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by that you will come to know Siddhanta, and you will be able to enter into the waves of Siddhanta. Generally we're thinking Siddhanta is fixed. How can you say it has waves? But depending on when one enters into the Swarup Shakti, then the fluctuations between the Sambit Shakti, Ladini Shakti and Sambit Shakti will give different perspectives on the same Leelas. And therefore the conclusions which are there in Srimad Bhagavatam are like, it's like an ocean with many waves. Especially the Rasa Siddhanta is an ocean full of waves. So, Srimad Bhagavatam itself is a kavya, rasa kavya, poetry full of rasa. So to understand it is very difficult. Many persons in all different sampradayas and apasampradayas conclusion from it. Some person takes Satkaryavad, some person takes Asatkaryavad, some persons take Vivartavad, Mayavadi, some people we take Shakti Parinamavad from Srimad Bhagavatam. So just as Krishna Mala Namma Saneyaninam Natarastri Nam Sparom Murtimam, when he entered the arena of Kamsa Maharaj, then all the different persons there saw him in a different way. So in the same way, because Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, when the Srimad Bhagavatam enters into the assembly of the people, everyone sees in a different way. Because Bhagavatam is Krishna Swarup. So, for the demons, just as Krishna has so many avatars, so they'll see in different ways. Just like Venkatavat previously, he was seeing, the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna sees Vilasamurti. So the demons, they read Srimad Bhagavatam, and they say, Saram Vedanta Saram Yad, Brahmatmaikatma Lakshanam, Vastuditiyam Nishtam, Kaivalyaika Prayojanam. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of Vedanta. Brahmatvaikatva Lakshanam. Vastuditiyam Nishtam. One should have Nishta in the Advitiya Vastu, dual reality. And how you have that Kaivalya? When you attain the goal of life, which is Kaivalya, oneness. So Sutta Goswami has said this, and all the Mayavadis are dancing. Haribol, Haribol. Here's the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. They can't understand the real meaning. Brahmatvaikatma Lakshanam. Here Brahma means Krishna, and Atma means Krishna's Atma is Radharani. One in the form of Chaitanya. So Kaivalya means Kevala Bhakti. Shri Guru Charana Padma. Kevala Bhakti, that means the Bhakti which is unadulterated, not mixed with karma, not mixed with jnana, not mixed with yoga, not even mixed with the knowledge of Krishna's opulence. Madhurya, sweet, pure sweetness, Kaivalyaka Prayojanam. This is the actual meaning. But the impersonalists, they see this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then, just as all the incarnations are present in Krishna Swarup, so then Srimad Bhagavatam for them becomes Mohini Murti. So in the Leela of Mohini Murti, she had the nectar, but she cheated the demons and gave it to the devotees. So in the same way, the Srimad Bhagavatam is doing this Leela of some verses, they're bewildering and cheating the Mayavadis of the nectar, but giving all the nectar to the devotees. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna Swarup. As all qualities Krishna has, all Leelas Krishna has, Srimad Bhagavatam has those qualities and Leelas also. Then, how do you understand? Therefore, Jaha Bhakavata Para Vaishnavayarastani. Another way you can misunderstand Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam has 4 types of bhasha. Worldly language. Paramat bhasha. That means the language which is paramat. Mat is an opinion. And para means someone else. In other words, Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, but it's not his opinion, it's someone else's opinion. Then there is Swamat Bhasha. Shukadeva Goswami's own opinion when he's speaking. Then there's Samadhi Bhasha. When Shukadeva Goswami is completely in Samadhi and seeing the Leela and speaking about that. So, of these, those Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana. But the Lokik Bhasha, Paramat, the Swamat Bhasha, understand which statement of Srimad Bhagavatam is in which category, because they're not all the same level of praman. The Lokik Bhasha in Srimad Bhagavatam is not praman. What's an example of Lokik Bhasha? Just like Pururava. Pururava was a king, and he met one Apsara named beautiful. So when Pururava saw this beautiful Urvashi, he just was completely, became lusty, and he was so attracted, and he approached her. He said, "Oh beautiful lady, please come and sit down next to me, and tell me, what can I do to please you? You can stay with me forever, and we will enjoy." So, is this Pramana Mamala? Right? Someone can say, in Srimad Bhagavatam I read, if you see a beautiful woman, say, "Beautiful woman, sit down here." Is this Pramana? No, this is Lokik Bhasha. So though Shukadeva Goswami himself is speaking, but because it's the he's saying the words of a bewildered materialist, these things you cannot quote as Praman. So Lokik Bhasha is not Praman. Then Paramat Bhasha. Paramat Bhasha means something which is, Para means another and Mat means opinion. Paramat Bhasha, the language of someone else's opinion. So for example, when the demons that took over heaven, and Indra had lost his post, he lost his throne, so he wanted to get it back. So I approached the Brahmin, Vishvarup, told him, "Alright, I'll tell you how you win in battle with the demigods and get your kingdom back, with the demons and get your kingdom back." And he taught him the Narayan Kavacha. Right? Now, Shukadeva Goswami is telling all of this. But Shukadeva Goswami would never tell someone, "You lost your kingdom? Okay, I'll tell you how to get it back." Right? This is the opinion of Vishwarup. It's not Shukadeva Goswami's opinion. He would never say that you have to fight to get your kingdom back in this world. So that is, all those verses spoken by Shukadeva Goswami is Paramat Bhasha. This is also not Praman. Now the other examples of Paramat Bhasha, just like one day it was evening time, and Diti approached her husband, Kashyapa Muni, and she said, "Oh my dear husband, I am suffering so much from the arrows of Cupid. Please take this pain away. I am very eager to have a son." And then the Kashyapa Muni actually is a very advanced devotee, but to humor his wife, he began to flatter her. He said, "Yes, of course. The wife is the better part of one's body. By the association of wife, one can attain all the treasures on the path of liberation, such as dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And what husband would not fulfill the desires of a very dedicated wife? So just wait a little time, because that moment, the evening, was inauspicious. But in the end, she got the better of him, and they united, and they conceived beautiful twins, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu." She wouldn't listen to him. So, we see here that Shukadeva Goswami is explaining how to flatter your wife. Shukadeva Goswami's opinion. This is Paramat Bhasha. So other examples of Paramat Bhasha, when Shishupal is criticizing Krishna, when Jarasandha and Dantavakra are criticizing Krishna, Goswami is speaking it, but it's not his opinion. So Lokik Bhasha and Paramat Bhasha, they are the Praman. Then you come to Swamat Bhasha. For example, in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami begins to speak, and his topic is Yoga Mishra Bhakti. How a yogi who is not mature in the samyam, stabilization of the mind, should develop the stability of mind by meditating on the Virat Rup, the universal form of the Lord. So Shukadeva Goswami is speaking this, it's Swamat, it's his own opinion, and he gives his consent to this. But that's not his conclusion. So someone can take a part of Srimad Bhagavatam and meditate on the universal form. Did you do that today, Prabhu? You're not following Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? No. This is Swamat, but yes, it's Shukadev Goswami's opinion, but it's not his conclusion. He's describing stages that persons with mixed sanskars and on different paths may take up to gradually, actually that chapter Srila Prabhupada has called it the first step in God consciousness. So that's an example of Paramat Bhasha. Sometimes Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about purifying the heart by following worldly attachments. But what is Shukadeva Goswami? Yam pravarjantam anapaitam apaita kritam. He just, as soon as he was born, he just walked straight out the door without even having any samskars. Anapaita kritam. So, some parts of Srimad Bhagavatam are. But what is the ultimate praman? When Shukadeva Goswami is describing the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. Gopi Geet, Pranay Geet, Brahma Geet. There he's in complete samadhi, and this is the goal. This is what he wants us to realize. That Radhika is the greatest, as the highest prem. And therefore, if you want to please Krishna, the best thing that you can do is serve Radhika. This is what Shukadeva Goswami wants to share with us. So, understanding Srimad Bhagavatam is not just a matter of just opening Srimad Bhagavatam, reading and saying, okay, this is the teaching. We have to be able to discriminate between the various types of Bhasha. So, Damodar Goswami, he told, Jaha Bhagavata Pora Vaishnaver Sthane. So then, that because that Brahmin, he was so shocked and he was so afraid, Damodar wanted to help him and encourage him. He said, actually, the reason I asked you to explain it is because your words can also glorify Jagannath and glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But I wanted to know what's your understanding. Because we see even in Srimad Bhagavatam, even demons, when they criticize Krishna, Saraswati, the goddess of learning, takes their words and uses the same words to glorify Krishna. So your understanding was wrong, but your words can actually also glorify Krishna. So he said this to cheer him up. So Damodar, he gave an example. When Krishna, he told the Brijbasis, don't worship Indra, you should worship Giraj Govardhan. Then Indra became angry. And Indra was criticizing Krishna. He said, Vachalam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopame Chakur Apriyam. Gopame Chakur Apriyam. These Brijbasis, they've acted in a way which is very displeasing to me. Why? Krishna Martyam Upasritya. They've taken shelter of this mortal boy, Krishna. So he calls Krishna Martyam, a mortal boy. And not only that, he's not even well behaved. He's Vachalam, he's very Balisham, he's childish. So in all these ways, the Indra criticized Krishna. So Swarup Damodar Goswami quoted this verse. He said, but Saraswati took the words of Indra and with those words worshipped Krishna. Why? Vachalam. Another meaning is one who speaks authentically, authoritatively on Vedic conclusions is called Vacha. Vachalam, Balisham. Balish can mean childish, but it can also mean one who is very innocent and simple and doesn't have any pride that they're a great person, just like a simple child. So Krishna himself is Balisha, like a simple, innocent, prideless child. Vachalam, Balisham, Stabda. Stabda, like a stamba, like a pillar that doesn't move. So if Gurudev comes into the room, then everyone should get up and then give Dandavat Pranam. Right? But if someone just stands there, it's because they're proud and they're making offense. So they are stabda. But here, Saraswati is taking this word stabda means he doesn't bow down to anyone because he's no midyate prapapaseta didambaraya. He used to be worshipped, he doesn't have to bow down to anyone, he used to be worshipped by everyone. Agyam. Agyam means agyam. Gya is knowledge. has no knowledge. Or Agya means in comparison to whom no one has more knowledge than him. He's called Agya. He's omniscient, he knows everything, and no one knows more than him or equal to him. So he's Agya. And Agya and Panditya-maninam. He's so proud he thinks he's a Pandit. And it can also mean Panditya-maninam, that all the Pandits, they give Manyamanaha, they're all giving respect. And Matyam means Yanmatya Lila Parikasa appearing in this world in a form which is just like a mortal being in order to be really close to his family members, presenting himself like a vulnerable child with his alal and icha, his desire to be pampered by everyone. So, in this way, the goddess of learning, Sasarasati, she took the words of Indra and worshipped Krishna. So Damodar told him there are so many examples. Just like Jarasandha, when Jarasandha was criticizing Krishna, he said, Krishna, you are Purush Adama. Adama, you are the lowest. And you are Bandhuhan. Kills his own uncle. Kamsa Maharaj was an uncle of Krishna and he killed him. So he insulted him with these words. But Swarup Damodar Goswami Saraswati took the words of Jarasandha and worshipped Krishna. With them, Purush Adhama means that person for whom all other Purushas, all other people are Adam, lower. And he's Bandhuham. Bandhu means friend, but Bandhu means, a friend is someone with whom you have a bondage of affection. There's a bandhana, there's a bind between you, so you're called Bandhu. So Bandhu means the binding force. That is Maya. And Han means one who destroys, who kills. So Krishna is Bandhuhan, he destroys the influence of Maya for those who take shelter of him. So in this way, Swarup Damodar Goswami, he spoke very nicely to pacify the heart of that Brahmin. And then, that Brahmin, he took straw between his teeth. And he fell at the feet of all the devotees, and he was crying and begging for forgiveness. So then, all the devotees blessed him, and because of that, he had the opportunity to become in the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he stayed there in Puri and lived with him. So, how it's possible to get the eternal association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? By taking shelter of his associates. It was shown by this pastime. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a kavya, and therefore the ordinary person, they cannot understand it. In order to relish kavya, one needs sanskar, that is called a beej. And that beej, even for material poetry, even for understanding material poetry, unless you have samskars from association of poets in a previous life, you cannot relish the poetry. And unless, even if a person has samskars from a previous life with the kavis, he may be able to relish poetry, but he will not be able to write poetry himself unless he has a really deep samskar from several lives' association. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is a aprakrita supernatural transcendental kavya, and therefore Rativasanaya Svidhi, or Rupa Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he said, Yadichcherava Sambaraj Bhuvi Saragam Pratijno Yuvadangam Tatchat Paritajam Aradavel Se Sarupam Si Rupam Saganam Yatasya Gajamati Sputam Premna Nityas Marat Tadasam Srinumana. Oh my dear mind, please listen to me. If at all you desire to have the Paricharya Seva, the direct and intimate, menial, personal bodily services to Radha and Krishna in their eternal platform, pastimes in Braj, in the same plane and association as their Nitya Parikas, then you must listen to me. You should, with great love, bow down, pull out the names again and again of the intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Swarup Damodar, Roy Ramananda, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami, and all those who are in their line. Take shelter of them, and follow them with great honor and with great love. The meaning is that the Parikaya Ras is extremely rare. So only those who take shelter of Lalita, Saki and Vishaka who come in the form of Swarup Damodar, Rai Ramananda, and then those maidservants who are following them, only they will have access to that confidential realm. But here is saying Pratijanur. You have to bow down and call. Means lifetime after lifetime. It's not a one lifetime project to develop the sanskar. But if we don't associate with the Vaishnavas who have that rasic sanskar, then it is not going to fall out of the tree. This is why Rupa Goswami is saying, Sajate Ashe Snigdai Sadhu Sangha Sutobhai. So, Kavikanapur, perhaps you know, his father, Shivananda, sang boarding to Puri when he was a little baby. And Mahaprabhu put his big toe by the mouth of the baby. His name was Puridas then. And he sucked on the big toe of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by this blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became a great poet. And he has explained in Alankara Kaustubha the nature of transcendental Rasakavya. So we want to recite this verse from the beginning of Alankara Kaustubha to give some illustration of what it is that Rupa Goswami is writing, Kavi Karnapur, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Srimad Bhagavatam. They're following the lead of Srimad Bhagavatam, how the rasa is manifest in their beautiful poetry. So you can repeat. Navajaladara Dhama Koti Kama Vata even Nikilak Shangi Rangini Tonkayasi. So this is in Malati Chanda. The meaning, Nava means new. Jaladhara means a cloud. That which is Jaladhara. Jala means water, Dhara means holding. That which holds water is a Jaladhara. And Dhamma means complexion. It means Dham can mean effulgence, it can mean abode, it can mean prabhav. So Vas, prabhav, the Tvisha, effulgence. So there's a person who has an effulgence like a dark fresh rain cloud. Kotikama Avatara. The avatar, the incarnation of 10 million cupids. That indicates that he's avatari. He's the avatari. All cupids have come from him. The material cupids are only the shadows. And transcendental cupid, Pradyumna, has come from him, but he is the original source of millions of gods of love. And he is Pranaya Rasa Yashora. Yashora means he spreads or he bestows the yash, the glories of Pranaya Ras, romantic mood. And who is he? We have so many adjectives, now we find out who he is. Shri Yashoda Kishora. He is a beautiful adolescent son. Arunadaruda Dira Panga Banga Kurangya. Arunad means he has stopped. He has checked. Aruna, by his eyes, the corner of his eyes are very soft, reddish, like the rising sun. Dirga means long, because his eyes are long, and Apanga means glance. So the indication is Krishna's eyes are very long, with reddish corners, and he's glancing at the gopis from the corner of his eyes. So Aruna Daruna Dirga Panga Bangya. Bangya means expressions. So his eyes are full of the very alluring expressions. Kurangi. Kurangi means deer. So he has trapped some deer in the net of his beautiful sidelong glances. Even Nikila Krishangi. So Nikila means all, and Krishangi means the girls whose the Krish, whose the Anga, whose body is Krish, very narrow. It specifically refers to the waist, whose waist is very narrow. They're called Krishangi. So Eva Nikila Krishangi, Kurandir Eva means like. So all the beautiful gopis of Braja are just like captured by the net of the sidelong glance of Sri Krishna and his beautiful expressions. So, O Rangini, this means one gopi is speaking to her Saki. O Rangini. So Rangini means a girl who's playful. Ranga literally means colorful, so a girl who's colorful. Colorful means that she's kautukini, full of anticipation, full of curiosity, and has so many skills. And surprise, when you meet her, you discover she can do this, she can do that. And she's very adventurous to discover new things, so that colorful girl can be called. So one Saki is addressing her friend, O Rangini, Tvam Ko Yasi. Kwa means where. So, O Rangini, Tvam Kwa Yasi. Where are you going? Where are you going? So this is some kavya, it's poem. Now kavya, poetry, to be like a personality, that is called the kavya purush. You know, just like in architecture you have the vastu purush, and in the universe you have the virat purush. There's also the vidya purush, the personification of knowledge. Or vidya, actually she's vidyavadu, she's female. She's the young bride of knowledge embodied, vidyavadu jivanam. So different manifestations are considered to be purush, a person, male or female. So the Kavya Purush, it said that the body of the Kavya Purush, his body is made of Shabda and Artha. That means words, Shabda, sounds, and Artha, their meanings. Shabda, Artha. That's his body. Now, body should be decorated nicely. So the ornaments on the body of the Kavya Purush are the Alankaras. That means the poetic embellishments, figures of speech, similes, metaphors, onomatopoeia, synecdoche, synonyms, metonyms, and so on. We have also Alankaras in English language, but in Sanskrit there are so many more. So they're the ornaments, they're on the body of the Kavya Purush. But a body with only ornaments, unless there's a pran, then it's a dead body. So there should be pran. What is the pran? The life air of the Kavya Purush, that is called dhvani. Dhvani means suggestion. There should be something in the words which is, something is suggested by the words but it's not in the words. So it said, Shabda Vyapar. When you read a poem, we just read this poetry and we know what each of the words means. So now the business of the words is over. The Shabda Vyapa is finished. Shabda Vyapa finishes, then the Dhvani takes over and continues. The Dhvani is now the waves of suggestion that come in your mind. But what is this really saying? What's the intention of this? So, if it is said, Vatyad, if the dhvani, if the suggestion is more astonishing than the direct meaning, because you can have vachyata and then laksha artha meaning, but then there's dhvanyata, the deep suggestion. So if the dhvani, the suggestion, surpasses, it's more beautiful, more astonishing than the direct meaning, the vachata, then it's considered that poetry is the uttam poetry. It's alive. But if the suggested meaning, if there's no dhvani, no suggested meaning, or the suggested meaning is not interesting, then that poetry is called nishpanda, lifeless. You have a body there, but it's not breathing. So that in poetry there must be something inside it which is making it breathe, that you feel when the Shabda Vyapara, when the action. So I give an example, just like Srila Gurudev, with great pride he says, my Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj was a transcendental Rasit Kavi. And anyone who wants to know what poetry, like the Mangalartik song. Right? So you can see in the Mangalartik song, Param Gurudev is writing, Kushumita Sarovare Kamalahi Lola Mangala Suraba. So the Vacharta, that it's morning time, Radha Krishna in the Kunj and they're just waking up, and the Sakis are watching what they're doing. But then Param Gurudev said that Kushumita Sarovara, there's a beautiful lake, and it's full of flowers, and the breeze is blowing and the flowers are trembling. And that breeze is carrying Mangala Sorabhavahe, Pavana Kalola, and the playful breeze is carrying a beautiful fragrance. So that's the Vacharta, the direct meaning. But when the Shabdartha, the Shabda Vyapara, the Dhwani, the echo. Actually, Dhwani also means like echo. There's a sound that you hear, but then some more words start moving inside that you never heard. That's the suggestion. So what's the Dhwani here? The Dhwani here is that the Sakis are looking through the kunj, the lattice work, that's called Jalankara, the lattice work of the windows, and seeing Radha Krishna wake up. But when Radha Krishna wake up and Krishna sees Radhika, when he met her the night before, her hair was very tight in a braid. But now, braid became open and she's just a big mass of curls. And the curls are falling over her face. Before she had beautiful red lipstick made from the kadir juice. But now that's all smeared off and her lips have become pale. So pale lips also the symptom of the Upabhokta Naika, the heroine who's been enjoyed by the hero. So according to Rasa Shastra, there's more rasa in the heroine who's enjoyed by the hero than before. So when Krishna sees Radhika in the morning, she has a sambhog chin, the marks of their embrace, spots of the kasturi and the tambu and the melted kumkum. When the kumkum on her body mixes with her perspiration and Krishna embraces Radhika, then that kumkum from the heart of Radhika is smeared on the chest of Krishna. And when Krishna lets go of Radhika's embrace, then there's a picture of Radhika's body on Krishna's chest. So when Krishna sees Radhika and Radhika sees Krishna, then Cupid's arrows begin to fly in the morning. And they become attracted to each other again. And Param Gurudev in the form of Manoj Manjari is watching. She's watching through the window. But a poet never says what they want to say directly, because that is considered to be gross. It is considered to be common people, they just speak directly. But poets, they say everything in the dhwani, not in the words. So Param Gurudev saying, Kushumita Sarovari Kamala Alola means that when Radha and Krishna embrace in the morning, then Radhika is trembling and her Mahabhav is spreading out everywhere, and he's just describing that the lotus flowers are trembling. But the dhwani is that Radharani is trembling. That the breeze is blowing, the dhwani is that Radharani is sighing. And that there's a beautiful fragrance in the air means the fragrance of the body of Radha Krishna mixed together is in the air. So this is the dhwani. So the words, the Shabda Vyapara is going, but then the dhwani is going on. So this is a Uttam poetry, Uttam Kavya. But then there's Uttam Uttam. Uttam Uttam means that in that poetry there should be some Shabdartha Vaichitri, some astonishing arrangement of the words, the sounds of the words. Or there can be Anudhwani, that means after the first wave of dhwani hits you, then you wait a moment and another wave comes. that there's a suggestion inside the suggestion. So in Parangude's poetry here, this is the Dwani. What's the Anudwani? This is why it's important to associate with Brajrasika Vaishnavas. Then the samskars will come and they make a beach. And then this beach gives one the capacity to experience the waves, Dwani, Anudwani, Anu, Dwani. That's why Mahaprabhu was saying, Pratishloki, Pratyakina, there are so many meanings in each syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam. The implication is that the waves of Dwani that manifest from it. So the Anudwani here is, if the flowers, which are just non-moving living creatures, are trembling due to the ecstasy of Radharani, then what are the Manjaris feeling? Huh? Are they trembling or not? Right. So, but Paramguda, if you will just write, I'm trembling, then this will not be kavya. Huh? The ras is not there. There can be ras, but the rasik, they don't open anything. So, in this way, we're discussing the Kavya Purush. The body of the Kavya Purush is Shabdartha, words and their meanings. The ornaments on the body of the Kavya Purush is the Alankars, the figures of speech. And the pran of the Kavya Purush is Dhvani. And then, what about Atma? Right? Because you have to have a body, you have to have a pran, but the Atma is something. What is the Atma of Kavya? Huh? That is Rasa. That is Rasa. Huh? Because there can be Alankara, there can be Dwani, but there may not be Rasa. Or there may be Rasa, but Alankara. So the example is given when Mahaprabhu was dancing in front of Lord Jagannath at the Rath Yatra. He was reciting a verse, Yako Marahara Sai. This famous verse. It's from Kavya Prakash, and it's also included in Saitya Darpan, where one lady is saying, oh, these are the same moonlit nights in the month of Chaitra, the same breeze is coming from the Kadamba forest, carrying the fragrance of malati flowers. I am the same woman, and he is my same beloved, and we're meeting the same way as we did in our youth, where by force he stole my innocence. But today, I'm not feeling the same happiness today. My mind is yearning for those days when we first met on the bank of the Reva River in the forest of Vetasi, Ratan Cane forest. So it has nothing to do with Radharani, nothing to do with Krishna or anything. You see. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing this verse, and then through that he was remembering the emotions of Radharani when she met with Krishna at Kurukshetra. So he's thinking, Rupa Goswami composed a parallel verse which said directly, Sri Kailan Madhuri Panchamadushe Manome Kalindi Pulina Vipinaya Sprihayati. I want to be on the bank of Jamuna in Vrindavan, hearing Krishna playing the fifth note on his flute. So Rupa Goswami revealed the inner sentiments of Mahaprabhu when he was reciting this mundane kavya. But this verse is given as an example. There's no alankars in this poetry, but ras is there. There's rasa, but no alankar. So there's a difference between, because previous poets, like Ananda Vardhan wrote a text called Dhanyalok, and he said ras is in the Dwani. But our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, like Kavi Karnapur, say no, Dwani is one thing and ras is another thing. Because if you just say, Radha Krishnam Bhajati, Radharani serves Krishna, this is not poetry, there's no alankar. But is there rasa? Yes. Because Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti, and Radharani is his most intimate beloved. So if it's just described Radharani serving Krishna, then the Vishaya Rasa is there, the Ashraya Rasa is there. So there must be in the Dwani all the Sattvic bhavs and Sanchari bhavs and everything should be there also. So there's a difference between Dwani and Rasa, and Alankar. So our Gaudiya Acharyas have explained this very beautifully. Now, here is the verse. So what we want to do now is, we've seen the Shabda Artha, the meaning of the verse. So now we'll analyze in in this verse of Kavikanapur, what are the Alankars? What is the Shabda Vaitchitri, the wonderful nature of the sound of the words, the Alankars, Shabda Alankars, the ornaments of sound, and also the Art Alankars, the ornaments of meaning. And then after that, we'll look at the Dwani, and then after look at that, we'll look at the Rasa, so we can see all the elements of the Kavya Purush present in this verse. So the word meanings we discussed. Now, the Alankars. One Alankar, the Shabda Alankar, ornaments of sound. In English, it's called alliteration, where there's a repetition of sounds. That is called Anuprash Alankar in Sanskrit. So we see that Kavi Kanapur has used very beautiful Anuprash Alankar. Here we have Dharadham, Dhadha, and then Kautikama. So you got Dhadakaka. Like this. This is the astonishing of the alliteration. Dhadakaka. And then he does it again in the next line. He has Ra, 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 Pranaya, Rasa, Yashora, Sri. Backwards and forwards with Sha. So with Sa, you have Rasa, Yashora, Sri, Yashoda, Kishora. So you have this play between Rasha, 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 Rasha. So this is the Anuprash Alankar, the ornaments of sound. In the next line, you also have this Apanga, Banga, Kuranga. Again, alliteration. So then, we also have here what is called the Yamak Alankar. Means the rhyming, something rhyming. So you have Arunad. Next word is Dirga, so it becomes Arunad, Arunad. Arunad, Arunad. So this is a Yamak Alankar. So then you have another type. It's called another type of Alankar. It's called Purva Uktavad Abhas. Purva Uktavad Abhas. So if you say something and then you say it again, it will be a fault. But this is not, he doesn't repeat himself twice. He repeats himself, but it's slightly different. So it's the abas of the fault of a repetition. He has Yashora, Yashoda. Rasa Yashora, Sri Yashoda, Kishora. But Yashora means one. That means his mother Yashoda. So Yashoda, Yashoda. Mother Yashoda is called Yashoda. Why? Because even though we know that she's really his mother, if you go all over the world, you speak to anyone, they all say that Devaki is his mother. Right? So because Mother Yashoda gave the fame of being Krishna's mother to Devaki, so she's called Yashoda. So these are the Shabda Alankars, the ornaments of the sound of the poetry. So then you have, let's see, the beautiful Alankars here. So you have here the simile. Simile is called Upama Alankar. When you say one thing is like something else. Upama Alankar. So the definition of Upama Alankar is Prachaksham Sundaram Samyam Upametya Vidhiyate. There should be a samya, a similarity, a comparison, which is Pratyaksham, direct. And Sundaram, it should be beautiful, it should be astonishing. Then that is called the Upama Alankar, Upametya Vidhiyate. So here, the comparison, the simile, is that the gopis of Vrindavan are just like deer. So just as a deer is very innocent and wandering in the forest, but comes in the trap of the hunter, so these poor innocent Braja gopis, they come in the trap of the net of Krishna's eyes. So this is a simile. So simile should be pratyaksh, it should be a direct similarity, and it should be sundaram, also should be beautiful. If someone says, oh, your right eye is just This is not Upama Alankara. Because it's not beautiful, it's not astonishing. But if you say, Akila Sura Samrita Murti Prasumara, Ruchiruda Tarakapaliki, Kalita Shamalatu Radha Prayam Vijoja, Krishna is like the moon. Why? Because the moon is giving all rasa. And he is controlling the stars, outshining the stars. Radha Nakshatra is. That means, right? So this is actually, that's not actually a simile, that's a metaphor. But the metaphor is so beautiful that in the comparison there. So similarly, in a simile, the metaphor, it should be direct and it should be very beautiful as well. So that is called upamaya. So here the gopis are very beautifully compared to innocent deer wandering in the forest to come in the trap of Krishna's glance. Then you have the upama alankar. Then you have rupakalapa alankar. Rupakalankar means a metaphor. So though it's not directly stated here, Krishna's glance is the word net is not used, but his eyes are doing the function of catching the deer, like this. So it's a metaphor that Krishna's eyes are like the net of a hunter. Now, so we've looked at the words and meanings, then we looked at the alankars, and now we look at the dhvani, the pran of the poetry. The dhvani is quite amazing. Quite amazing. One Saki is speaking to another Saki. Why? It was evening time. And one Saki, who was more experienced and more mature, and having great love for Krishna, saw her friend who she was returning to her home. And she was thinking, why is she going home? She should go into the forest. But she cannot openly tell her to go into the forest and be caught by Krishna. And that girl, she's also somewhat innocent and a little bit naive. So she needs some encouragement from her Saki. So her Saki is encouraging her. So the direct meaning, the Vacharta, Tvam Kwayasi. Hey Saki, where are you going? The direct meaning is, where are you going? But the Laksha Artha, the implied is don't go there. Don't go home. And then the implied meaning could be she's going towards the forest and her Saki saying, don't go. Tvam Kwayasi. Where are you going? Don't go there. There's a hunter waiting and you're just like a deer. So the Vachyat is, where are you going? The implied meaning is, don't go there. But the Dvanyata, you have to go. Some hesitation in her Saki. So the Dvani is the life of this poetry is, you must go there. And how do we know that that's the Dvani? Because if you see, she's saying, don't go there, whatever you do, don't go there, because the son of Yashoda is there, and he's Koti Kamavatara. He's like 10 million gods of love. So if she really doesn't want her to go, Pralobhana. Pralobhana means enticing. Don't go there, whatever you do, because someone who's like 10 million gods of love, who's like the avatar, he's the source of millions of cupids, that means he's more beautiful and attractive than anyone else, yeah? He's waiting in that forest for you. So whatever happens, where are you going? So Koti Kamavatara, the Dwani of and then, oh, very beautiful, Navajala Dharadhama. Saki, and she's thinking, what if someone will see me? And then there'll be a big scandal. So her Saki is encouraging her and saying, Navajala Dharadhama, that Krishna has a complexion like a dark rain cloud is very dark. And that means when Sri Krishna is in the forest of Vrindavan, he has this quality called the Abhirup. Abhirup means, Radharani has this also, that their beauty is so wonderful that if anything comes near them, then their beauty kind of spills over and whatever is around them takes on that beauty. So if If Radharani has a flower in her hand, then that white flower becomes reddish like the palm of her hand. And if she holds it by her mouth and she smiles, then it becomes white like her. If she holds it by her eyes, then it becomes blue like her eyes. It's called Abhirup. So Krishna's like that. His sham complexion spreads out and makes a kind of dark sham-colored hue in the forest. So the Sakhi is saying, oh, she sees that her friend is worried. She said, Nava Jaladara Dhama. If you go to Krishna, his sham complexion spreads out and makes a darkness within the forest. And when you enter into that darkness of Krishna's sham complexion, no one will be able to see anything that you're doing. So, Tvam Kwayasi, where are you going? Which really means, don't go. But which really means then you must go and meet with Krishna and don't be afraid. Like this. So then, we have looked at the body of the Kavya Purush, the Alankaras of the Kavya Purush. Now we have just discussed the Dwani and now the Rasa. The Rasa is what? Madhu Rasa. And especially it is Parakiya Rasa. Because in Swakiya Ras, the wife, the consort can meet with their beloved very easily. But in Parakiya Rasa, then it's full of danger. All the eyes of society on the gopis of Vrindavan, and there, in order to meet with Krishna, they have to transgress all the principles of dharma. And sometimes they have some fear of that. So they can't speak to each other directly about anything in case anyone will overhear. And so they have to hide everything in the dhvani of their words. And therefore the Atma of this poem is Parakiya Rasa. Unnata Ujjvala Rasam Swabhakti Sriyam. So, Brajrasik Bhakta Sangha ki jai, Bale Vrindavan Vyari Lal ki jai, Bale Sanwali ki jai. Gaur Premanand. What time is the arti? Do we have time for one question?
Sure. Yeah, half question. One half question. Just how the Rasa Samadhi, Asraya, Vishaya, how in this poetry?
Yes.
How it's there?
Because Krishna obviously is the Vishaya Lamba. The gopi who's going to meet with him is the Ashraya Lamba. The description of Krishna's qualities are the Udipana. Okay? So then, though it's not directly stated, but it should be understood that actually the gopi who is speaking, her speaking is an anubhav. Actually, her speaking is an anubhav, and that anubhav is the anubhav of her surid rati, her friendship towards the Sakhi she's speaking in. So you've got rasa going. There are two personalities. We want to talk about. The samagri is related to the speaker, or the samagri is related to the hearer. So it begins to open up on many levels. Like that. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
When Ishwar Puripad was visiting Navadvip, he requested Mahaprabhu to examine what the book he was writing and to find some defects.
Yes.
So Mahaprabhu very conclusively explained to him that it's impossible for a pure devotee to commit any mistake to the ears of Krishna. But it appears that by the qualifications that Padavada explained, it means that someone who needs to be erudite cannot make any mistake, rely on not being pleasant to the ears of the Lord. How can we reconcile this?
When Ishwar Puripad was in Navadvip, he had written a poem called Krishna Lilamrita. And he was giving class every day in the house of Gopinath Acharya. Virada Pandit was going every day and hearing from him. And Mahaprabhu also, he was interested and he went and he listened for several months. At that time he had not taken initiation. Later when he saw Ishwar Puripad in Gaya, then he surrendered to him and he became his disciple. But at this point he was just listening. This is illustrating that one should sit and listen to the Guru or Vaishnavas for some time to discover the compatibility of the swabhav of the disciple and the spiritual master before initiation. Nimai Pandit, he did not just meet Ishwar Puri and take initiation, he listened to him for several months. And then later when he met him again, then he took shelter of him as his guru. Now, Mahaprabhu asked him, can you... Actually, at first, Mahaprabhu said there's some defect in this verse. You've conjugated this verb in a wrong way. Ishwar Puri said, no, it's correct. And then Nimai Pandit went away and he thought about it, because you can conjugate the verbs in the parasmaipada and atmanepada, active and reflexive voices. So some verses are conjugated in one way and some in another. But there are some verbs which are conjugated in both. They're called ubhaipada. This verb is ubhaipada. It can be this way or that way. So it's not wrong after all. Okay, so the Acharyas Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that it's quite appropriate that the Guru, that Mahaprabhu was defeated. He'd never been defeated. Nimai Pandit had never been defeated by anyone. He defeated Keshav Kashmir and everyone. But the sign that he was defeated by Ishwar Puri was the sign that was his Guru. And it was quite appropriate. But still, Ishwar Puripad, he knew that Nimai Pandit was a great scholar of Vyakara and grammar. So he asked him, can you go through the whole thing and find some fault? So then Mahaprabhu said to him, Murko vadati Vishnaya, Dhiro vadati Vishnave, Upayotu samam punyam, bhavagrahi janardana. He said that a learned person, someone who knows Sanskrit, if they say I'm making offering or obeisances to Vishnu, they'll say Vishnave namaha. Vishnave namaha. But Murko vadati Vishnaya, someone who instead of saying Vishnave Namaha, they'll think, well, if you give obeisance to Krishna, you say Krishnaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. If you say to Vishnu, then you have to say Vishnaya Namaha. But Vishnu ends in U, not in the A. So it has to be Vishnave. So he's saying, Murko vadati Vishnaya, the uneducated Vishnaya, but Dhiro vadati Vishnave, the sober and educated correctly. However, Ubayotu samam punyam, they both get the same benefit. Why? Bhava Grahi Janardana. Because Krishna, Janardana, is called Bhava Bhav. He only accepts your Bhav. So therefore, it's true. And Srimad Bhagavatam said, Tadvag Visago, Na yadvachas chitram ad padam hare yasho, Jagat pravitram parvinitikaiti tadvayasam tirtam avshanti manasa, Naryatahangsa niramanta shikshaya, Tadvag Visargo, Okam abhadyavatapi, Hitaniyat Srimant. Sutta Goswami is saying that the glorification of Krishna, even though it's imperfectly composed. So he says, abhadyavatapi, that means that when you write Sanskrit poetry, it should have a meter, just like this verse is Malini, Chanda. So it has to have a fixed number of syllables, and the long and short syllables have to be in the right place as well. So here, if it's not Chandabad, if it's not bound by the meter correctly or accurately, but still it's pleasing to Krishna, if it's composed by a pure devotee. Why? Because his intention is to please Krishna, and Krishna will accept your loving Bhavagrahi Janardana. Just like the wife of Vidurani, in the madness of love, she threw away the banana and gave Krishna the peel. But when he saw that peel, because of her love, suddenly he just felt this appetite to, I just need to taste some banana peel. And so Krishna began to eat the peel and he was relishing it. So it's the love of the devotee that creates the thirst in the heart of Krishna. So in that sense, there's not consideration of the quality of the elements. Consideration of the quality of the elements. This is true. However, let's say a devotee, it's one thing to make a grammatical error. That's one thing. Right? But we're speaking here of two things, rasabhas and apasiddhanta. So even Srila Gokishodas Babji Maharaj, right, he was practically illiterate, but he would never speak any apasiddhanta and he would never speak any rasabhas. So it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Because those who are rasik, naturally they speak in the most rasik way. And they can taste rasa and they will not say any apasiddhanta, any wrong conclusion, like that. Even though they may not be learned and they may not have the pastime in this world of composing poetry. Like Srila Gopishwadas Babaji Maharaj, the only thing he wrote was a song. Radhe 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 Jai 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 Sri Radhe Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe Kotayi Go Prema Moyi Radhe. So he composed this simple song, right? The chanda is the meter is very simple, the grammar, everything is very simple, like this. But his bhav is very Vipralambara Sambodhe. His bhav is very high. Prasad, our Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, being the most learned person, he took shelter of an illiterate person. Why? Because he wanted to, it was his bhav that he wanted to attain, like that. So, but at the same time, the eligibility to taste rasa, it depends on sanskars from Braj Rasik Bhakta Sangha in this life and previous life, and there's no way around that. That's why Mahaprabhu told Sadhu Sangha Sadha Shastrikwan. And today we were discussing the Srimad Bhagavatanam Asudo Rasikai Saha. So when a person is very fortunate and they come into Sadhu Sangha, then they receive those sanskars. But they may have to accumulate them for some time until the bij comes. The bij is the power to appreciate and understand deeply. So Brahmanda Brahmati Kon Bhagyavan Jiv. The fortunate person who has accumulated the sanskars in the previous lives, they receive the bij. Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Kilaka bij. So that ability to receive the bij takes some lifetimes. Is it clear? Yes. Any other question? Yes?
The five bhashas, the Lokik, the Bhasha, the Samadhi Bhasha, the Vishnu Bhagavad.
But there was three in the middle.
Yeah.
No, two in the middle. There are four. Swamat, Sukadeva, but it's not his, he gives consent to it, but it's not his conclusion. And then Samadhi Bhasha, the language which is coming in his pure trance of describing Krishna Lila.
Does that also apply to the Gita and other literatures?
Yeah. Like when in the Gita it says Duryodhana went to Dronacharya and said, hey, let's have a look at the warriors on this battlefield. And he's trying to encourage Bhishmadev. Now Bhishmadev should hold the ranks because he has a suspicion that Bhishmadev has actually got sympathy for the other side. You see? So when Duryodhana, he's demonic, he's an answer of Kali personified, he's speaking and he's worried about his own, like a Lokik Bhasha. It's not, that's not, even though it's coming in the Samadhi of Sanjay, and he's speaking it, and then later Vyasa is writing it also, but in the context where it is, that's a Lokik Bhasha. So it will not have the same benefit. Duryodhana saying, well, let's look at the warriors on my side, and then Krishna saying, Sarvadaman Pritya. They don't have the same level of praman or power or value to the individual devotee. Yeah. In fact, that first opening of Gita is because Gita is a standalone book, but it's also whatever chapter 25 of the Bhishma Parva. So the Krishna's instruction in the Gita has to be seamlessly woven into the whole narrative of the Mahabharata. So those purpose. Any other question?
If you have questions, I can push out on that.
Okay, sure. So then we'll have Arti and then we